Doug Upstone here, Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. Today's Friday, which means football, which means college football. So that's what we're going to talk about exclusively, just college football. So got a lot to cover. One of the things we're not going to cover for sure is in the, well, anything to do with injuries, with players coming back in terms of line moves, in terms of how that is affecting lines. And we're not going to talk about any game that is going to be affected by weather, primarily those in the Midwest and the East, where totals are dropping like the temperatures there. And so, you know, those are circumstances that are just occurring. So we're not going to cover those, just universal as to what's going on there, not about what's happening. Speaking of what's happening, when we last talked, Maction got the best of me. Didn't have one winner out of three. Hey, you know what? Free picks, it happens. As far as the other way, though, myself personally, for Vegas Pro Insider Daily members, 26 out of 12 runs since November the 3rd. Pretty strong, right? Okay, 26 and 12, over 66%. That's we're getting it done. And you can get it done, too, by becoming a VPID member. $39.99 is all it's going to cost you for a month. We got a big weekend, not only of college football and NFL this weekend, but we got a ton of games over several days with the Turkey Fest, okay, coming our way. So Turkey Feast coming our way. So it should be great. $39.99 is all it's going to cost you to get involved, and you're going to get a lot more information, power ratings, in-season systems that are rocking and rolling, all kinds of stuff. You should join, really. I mean, $39.99 a month, that's the price of one pick anywhere you want to go, and you get everything for a month. So consider joining that right away. Let's talk some college football. We got three new games to talk about, plus the 7 others from previously to cover, or to update, I should say. So let's get to it. And we're going to start in the ACC, where the Pittsburgh Panthers are at Virginia Tech. Now, Virginia Tech was exposed as a major fraud in their last 2 games. Lost them both. Crumbled like a cookie, if I may say so. And so is their spread from -15 or -17 down to -15. Now, their defense, you know, this always, at the beginning of the year, the always vaunted Hokies defense we hear so much about. Bud Foster, boy, these guys fly around though. Boy, they're aggressive. Boy, they're this and that, okay? They've given up 480 yards rushing in their last 2 games. So how good is that defense? I don't think it's very good. Now, their freshman quarterback, you know what? They figured him out. I mean, he's a good player. I think he'll be just fine as he goes along in his career. But right now, he's having a heck of a time with the blitz, and he is seeing a lot of blitzing. Now, Pittsburgh is off a horrible performance against North Carolina. They should have wiped North Carolina out on a week ago last Thursday, but they did not. So in this series, I'm going to take Pittsburgh with the points on this one. I like the fact that I think they can slide under the number, and I think they're going to raise their record in this series to 7-2 against the spread. All right, the next game we're going to talk about is, let's see here, what do I got here? Oh, yeah, Mississippi State and Arkansas. It's going to be a high noon start on CBS. Now, bettors were given a choice on this one, and just like you are. You can either look at Mississippi State, who's coming off an extremely disappointing loss to Alabama, which they took a lead into the 4th quarter, didn't finish the job, you know, like I said, against #1 Alabama, or you can consider Arkansas, who just fired their athletic director. I'd say a coaching change is imminent there, and they're at 4-6. They're likely not to go to a bowl game anyways. So those are your options. Well, the options that at least some bettors have taken is they've taken Mississippi State, taking them from, I think it's 11.5, -11.5, up to 13. If you've seen Arkansas the last few weeks, they seem to just be going through the motions. Not much to play for. Not that Mississippi State's going to be all fired up here, but I think once they get past the 1st quarter, kind of get some momentum going. They're certainly the more physical team, which sounds crazy when you consider how Arkansas's played. But the fact of the matter is that that's true. The Bulldogs are the more physical team, and I think they're going to end up winning this game going away. I got Mississippi State, and believe it or not, 97% of bettors are also on Mississippi State. Wow, huh? That's huge. Big 12 action is next. Kansas State against Oklahoma State. And I have to admit, I was surprised to see the Cowboys from Oklahoma State fall from -21 down to -19.5. And why that surprises me is that Kansas State is most likely to play a third-string quarterback this week. Not a great situation. They've been having problems scoring against better teams anyways this year. The Wildcats have. I think it's going to be the same problem here. And Oklahoma State, I think, they, in terms of, let's just say, having something to play for, I think they got to feel a lot better about themselves coming into this game because TCU, lost their starting running back. Kenny Hill, their quarterback, didn't even travel to their game against Texas Tech this week, so that means a freshman quarterback is going to start for TCU, and they lost 2 defensive starters, including their leading tackler for this upcoming game. So TCU falls in the next 2 games. Oklahoma State wins both of their final games. Oklahoma State has a rematch with Oklahoma. So there's plenty of reason to play. I think Oklahoma State is going to get it done on the -21. And they're also 11-2 against the spread after 2 games in which 70 or more points were scored. I'm going to go definitely against the public on this one. 86% of bettors are on Kansas State. I understand why. They've covered 12 out of the last 17 against the Cowboys, but not me. I'm going the other way. I definitely like Oklahoma State in that one. So now let's go back and talk about some of the games from prior. And we're going to start with tonight's game, tonight being Friday. UNLV in New Mexico, about 9:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. If you remember, I had said that when New Mexico went from -2 to, from -2 to +1 against UNLV, the chances are it would turn around. Well, as it turns out, by the time I got the video posted for that on Tuesday night, it already switched. New Mexico State was favored again, and now they're -2.5 right now. I think the Rebels, because of their offense, I think they're going to beat. On this one, I think the Rebels, though, are still the call. I think they have the better offense. I will take the points now with UNLV on this one. Next up is Wake Forest and NC State, and in that one, that line has not changed at all on that game. It has stayed the same. Oh, I take that back. It's come back a little bit. I take that back. It went from a pick to -2 for Wake Forest, back to 1.5. A lot of sharp guys I know are on on North Carolina State. A number of them are. I will not be. Okay, on that one, I think the way that Wake Forest is playing, I think they're hot right now. I think NC State has gone through an exhausting period of 3 really hard games. They're going to be on the road again. They barely survived against Boston College last week. This team can score. The NC State defense is not the same defense we saw a month ago. I think they're going to get the job done and cover the spread in that one. All right, so Wake Forest is a call for me at -1.5. Nebraska and Penn State. Boy, been talking about it all year. We've been doing these videos, how far Nebraska's fallen. They went up from 23.5 to +26. About a third of the books went up to +27, with the rest staying where they were. Initially, early in the week when I first was looking over these numbers, I really liked Penn State. The more I looked at the numbers, though, their offense hasn't been that great for quite some time now. Not running the ball real well because of a mediocre offensive line. I'm just going to have a lean with Penn State at -26 on this one. LSU against Tennessee. LSU went from -14 to -16, back slightly to -15.5. LSU still has something to play for. Tennessee's has an interim coach. This guy's not going to be around to coach the team next year. Tennessee's going a whole different direction. I think most of the players on this team just want to get this season over with. Just the way it goes. One of those years. I got LSU. I think they're going to cover it, and 88% of the bettors at the present time agree with me. Conference USA, Marshall and UTSA. This spread opened. Let's see here. UTSA was a pick. I'm sorry, it was a pick. It went to -1, then went to -1.5 for the Roadrunners. Now, in looking at it, it's about a 50-50 split. Still at -1, and everybody else is at a pick. As I mentioned the other day, Marshall's been excellent on the road this year, 4-1 against the spread. UTSA 0-4 against the spread at home. I think the Thundering Herd, will rumble in this one. I got them to win this game, cover, not easily. If they win by 10, I'm not going to be totally surprised. Finally, Wisconsin and Michigan. This one opened at 10 with the Badgers, the undefeated Badgers, where a lot of Badger fans are very frustrated. I got a bunch of friends that still live there. Very frustrated that they're not getting enough respect, at least in their opinion. This went down from 10 down to -7, -7.5. It's about 50-50 right now, 7 to 7.5 on this one. I'm still going to stick with my story on this one. I think this is first time. I know they're going to be fired up because this is a big game for the Badgers, but I think Michigan is going to come to play. I think they can compete with them physically, and I think that's how they're going to stay in this game, being able to run the ball. It's going to be a very defensive game. If the weather's bad, windy, which is expected, I think it's only going to keep the score down. I just see this as a 3 to 4 point game. I cannot go over 7 on this one with the Badgers. If the Badgers were maybe 6, I have to give it a look, but that's not the case. They're not. So, got Michigan on that one. So, hey, that's everything we have for today, Friday. I got like I said, big weekend of college football. Membership for VPID, $39.99. It's right there for you. I'll be back tomorrow to talk some NFL. So this is Doug Upstone for Vegas Pro Insiders Daily. As of right this second, I am out.